Alright, so I wanted to make a video all on its own of just the Super Rebirth stuff, and kind of wanted to go over a little bit more about it kind of in depth, because it seems to be there's quite a bit of people that are a little confused on it, but it's pretty simple once at least knowing what everything kind of does. But basically all you need to know is whenever you go to like spend your tokens, or your Super Rebirth tokens, all of your levels will be level 1 at first. Basically what you're doing is increasing the levels of all of those to make their multipliers go up. So for instance with the pets, you have it to where under the level it would show 5, for instance. Well, if you plus that level up, you'll have to where you can have 6 pets equipped. Now the thing that will happen though is the multiplier for how much it costs will go up. And basically every time you level it up, the cost for it will double in price. So that's the way that they're kind of making it work. So it is a little expensive to actually level things up all the way. Actually, I don't think it actually is completely multiplied by added to itself, because now that I remember, I think it was only 10 points to actually get level 10, or well, level 6 for the pets to get 10 pets. If I remember right, I think it actually only was 10, so if I remember right, it's actually 1 coin, 2 coin, 4 coins, 8 coins, and then I think it was 10 coins. It was either that or 6 coins and then 10 coins. Something like that. That's how it was. So basically with that being said, it's not too difficult to really get max level right now, because max level for everything what seems to be is level 6, which is just getting everything plus 5. So it's quite a lot of super rebirths that you would need to, or well, at least getting the tokens is what you would need to really pay attention for, obviously. And basically the way it is that every 50,000 rebirths you get, you would get 1 super rebirth token when you super rebirth. Now, I do want to say though that it is probably not worth it to super rebirth until you've probably at least gotten to 100,000 normal rebirths. The reason I say this is because of the fact that what you'll be able to do is actually level up your max pets and rebirth token multiplier, and what that'll do is it'll actually give you a ×2 multiplier on your tokens, and it'll give you an extra pet slot, so you'll be able to have 6 pets, so that whenever you do actually go for rebirthing again, you'll at least be able to have that extra pet that'll help you to actually rebirth and get there faster. And if you're able to have like a friend or whatever, or someone that you know that you could potentially trust, you could actually give them your like best pets basically that you want to have kept, and then once you rebirth you could get them back from said person, and then you could use what you had as your best pets after that. Now I know that does require to be able to trust someone, so there is that. Now I have done it for a few people so far. They've trusted me with holding on to their pets. They get their rebirth. I had someone that I wasn't on, and he went ahead and just messaged me on Roblox. I ended up popping into his game, gave him his pets back. Well, actually gave him better pets than he had, because I had extras and stuff, but it was pretty close to the same pets that he already had. So yeah, I mean, pretty much other really than that on the Super Rebirths, I think that's basically it. I mean, the only things that I don't know of so far is basically the rebirth token multiplier and the coin respawn time. I don't know exactly what you get for each level, because obviously I don't have those maxed, but I do know that once you plus your rebirth tokens twice, it will not go to ×3 or ×4. It actually, I'm going to guess that it goes to ×2.5. It doesn't change visually for the fact that I did level it up, but it didn't change in number. That's going to be my guess. Also, the respawn time one, I think it might have been bugged whenever I first did it. Either that or it just didn't properly update. I'm not sure, but if you're buying the coin respawn time, do make sure that you potentially rejoin. It seems to be, at least right now, there is a bug that was quite a few bugs, but there's a bug that if you super rebirth right now, it seems to be that it'll throw you back at spawn, but you won't be able to move. You could jump, but you can't move, which at some point, actually, what's going on in the background, you will actually see at some point in there, this actually happens to me, my second super rebirth. I actually ended up having that issue where I couldn't move, but whenever I rejoined, this is where tons of bugs happen. For one, if you happen to buy like the hat crates after you super rebirth, you'll already have whatever hats you had. So for instance, if you buy, for some people it seems to be if they buy any hat, they'll have all their hats back. For me, I actually had to buy the last hat box and get the best hat. Once I got one of the best hat, it showed up all of my actual hats that I had, so I was able to immediately equip that. But not only did that actually happen, but on my second super rebirth, whenever I had done that, because on my first one, that was the only thing I had happened, was I had to buy the actual hats and receive one of the hats to be able to use them. But whenever I went for my second super rebirth and rejoined the game, as I was saying, it actually made it to where I had my old stuff. If anyone has had the issues of where they log in and they don't have, obviously, like the magnet in the backpack that they had on, well, for people that have played this for a while now, you might have it to where like a specific backpack and specific magnet stays on your character whenever you join the game. Well, it seems to be that is still actually happening, even though that I've super rebirthed, but apparently whenever they did an update, that made it to where anything that was on your character basically would stick. And I'm assuming they wanted it to be where it was forced to unequip everything, so then that way if they were to do something like this, that they would have no issues. The problem is it seems to be that is potentially bugged, so there is that. So I've kind of bugged my way somewhat through the rebirths, I guess you could say, but at the same time, like, as long as you have someone that you could trust, you should be pretty well off on really doing this. I mean, do I say it's really worth it? Yes. Super rebirthing seems to be hands down one of the best things they've potentially done in this game. It makes it to where actually going for tons of rebirths is worth it. Like, there's a reason and you have a purpose. Now, the only thing that I don't really care too much for it is kind of the fact that, there's no way for someone to really know by just looking at the leaderboard, basically, or the board we have in game. There's no way for someone to know that, like, basically I would be a better person than someone else in the lobby. For instance, like, right now, I, at least at the time, only have 2 super rebirths, and, if someone else in the game had, let's say, 5, people would probably think that the person that has 5 super rebirths might be a better person, or at least, might have better things. I guess it doesn't really matter, though, truly. The way I guess I kind of look at it is, it would be nice for there to still be some kind of way for, people to obviously know. Like, I'm still really waiting for some kind of leaderboard, if that is potentially possible. I mean, from the little bit of making or attempting to make my own game, I do know that it's not that difficult to literally take exactly what you see going up on the top right, showing how much coins and money everyone has. Because of having that already set up, it's actually super simple for them to set up a leaderboard. So I'd really, really like to see that, because it's like, even though, yeah, obviously, I know, and people that are obviously watching know that I have, pretty much the best stuff, and that's what I always attempt to have, basically. But of course, there is people that are going to, super rebirth obviously more than me, because I don't need to super rebirth a bunch. Like, my first super rebirth, I had gotten 25 coins, and obviously with 25 coins I was able to buy most of what I needed and didn't have to worry about anything else. But at least for the most part. I went ahead and just did one more Super Rebirth with 200,000 rebirths, and that was only because of the fact that I wanted to be able to get my last pet slot and then basically go from there. So then that way I could actually just grind out all my 10 pets, make them the best pet possible, and then there we go. So pretty much that I think that kind of wraps it up. I mean, like I said, Super Rebirthing is definitely really cool. It's a nice concept for this game, I feel. And I know I've seen Super Rebirths in some games, but I've never played them enough to like ever know what they are, I suppose. So I guess it is kind of cool to be able to play on a game that at least Super Rebirths aren't too out of my grasp, I guess. But I mean, once you play a game enough, you'll be able to do most things. So yeah, I mean, like I said, this update's been tons of fun. I mean, there's everything new pretty much came out, like new backpacks, magnets, the hats and everything. Everything new zone, and then the Super Rebirth stuff, having more pets and all that stuff. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, the only things I still don't really know is, like I said, the respawn time, like what it goes down to. Like, I'm gonna guess, if at least if I was to take a guess, you could maybe get it down to possibly 7 seconds, but I'm not sure. And then maybe the multiplayer might go to 4 times. That seems pretty high if they actually do make it to where it goes to 4 times. If it goes to 4 times, it's gonna make it to where it's gonna be really crazy. Like, having tons of the rebirth token stuff will be super easy to have, and being able to buy loads of pets will be very, very easy. So I'm really hoping that if they end up adding more to the Super Rebirth stuff, that they'll watch out on exactly what it is that they're doing, or else they're gonna make it to where the egg prices for the new eggs are gonna have to be completely insane. Because if they keep making it to where they're not as expensive as they could be, we're gonna run into where buying the next pets is going to be extremely easy. So that is it for me on this one. Figured I'd kind of talk a little bit more about the Super Rebirth stuff. But yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.